to this segment produced by Kootneeti. We are here to celebrate the 70th anniversary of India-Japan diplomatic relations together. We will further evaluate the timeline of their relationship with respect to geo-economic and geopolitical sphere through our discourse with Mr. Shashank S. Patel, who is a PhD scholar and a research analyst at Kootneeti. Welcome, Shashank.
Thank you, Yashi.
So my first question for you is, how would you like to celebrate the 70th anniversary of India-Japan bilateral relationship?
So, Yashi, my type of celebration in 2022 uh, on 70th anniversary is to run 70 minutes every week in this year. So, see, it has two benefits. First, it makes me more fit. And second, will inspire my companions to go ahead with the fitness goals. So, but on the other note, I will prefer to contribute in the growth history of both the countries as they become natural partners now. And 70 years of diplomatic relation foster me to dig deeper my research to understand the anecdotes of this bilateral relationship. I would personally love to be a part of people-to-people exchange programs in this year, and it will deepen my insights to be a part of, to hone my skills as a doctoral research on the Japan. And also the other benefit one can dwell is to, the chalk out own future in growing multilateral arrangements in the Asian sphere. Japan is this swift window, I would say, for Indians to bolster their presence over the Indo-Pacific affairs in the coming days. So we can easily dive deep into these, international community for the national gains, rectification of grassroots issues, and achieving the prosperity. And it's about a win-win situation for both of the entities.
So my next question for you is, 70 years is a great deal for two countries to share such a bond. And of course, both India and Japan had witnessed massive changes in terms of almost every parameter. Will you highlight few features of this relationship shared between the two?
No, I slightly disagree with the usage of the term that in almost every parameter. The reason is even after the signing of a special strategic and the global partnership agreement in 2015, which was in talks from the 2014 onwards between the two head of the states of both the countries, the most demanding sectors where the positive growth is utmostly required remain saturated. And I picked the Fab three of them due to the time limitations. The first will be the defense cooperation, the second is the technology sharing, and the third one is converging the common global interests. And the irony is, even after the Tokyo Declaration, these points are in the official agenda of the both head of these states. But obviously, as a researcher, I have to look from another point of view to gauge the Indo-Japan bilateral relations. So the three other achieved milestones are the first one is the security partnership under FOIP, the expansion of the transit systems, and the third one, I would say, the social security, like the projects like the sanitation, drinking water, sewage treatment, etc., etc.
The next question for you is, with growing concerns of Indo-Pacific and Chinese aggression, how far do you think can India and Japan utilize this bilateralism to curb these mentioned dynamics?
China. the see the growing concerns in the Indo-Pacific is like a double-edged sword for both the countries. On the one hand, it provides us impetus to grow multilateral engagements for security and strategic edge over the adversary. But on the other hand, uh, it possesses, a challenge to the sovereignty and democratic process and the internal matters. So it was commonly seen in the history also that nations walked extra mile in international cooperation under the agreements which hampered the national interest. India and Japan bilateral relations are in the higher ends from 2017 onwards, politically and strategically, which is benefiting both the countries to pump the catalytic support to global powers in the Indo-Pacific. My only concern here is that under the multilateral arrangements like Quad placed in the region, you and we all know that both countries may not, dilute their mutual interests to benefit the multiple stakeholders. This is the core thing which we have to keep in mind. and it will, because there is a reason, it will defeat the whole idea of comprehensive economic partnership agreement which we signed in 2011 with the Japan, which is already lagging behind the assigned targets. So the stats are not pointing towards the good trend. And in one decade after the signing of this agreement from 11 to 2021, the trade from India to Japan is merely 363 billion yen, and Japan to India is 807 billion yen in 2020, which is approximately same in 2011. And even more in the case of India to Japan. So that is the only concern which we have to keep in mind when we go under the multilateral arrangements or the foray.
Speaking of dynamism in geopolitics and ever changing foreign affairs, what do you feel
Mhm.
are the key challenges to the India Japan relationship?
Yashi, the main challenge is to address the sluggish and stagnated growth of economic and commercial relations between these countries. The trade balance is unequal, and the trade figures is blowing alarming bugle. Another corner is the saturation in Act East policy of India, where Japan is an important actor. Due to more noises by the China in this region, the other prospects which need more focus took secondary notches. And see, the challenges stood in front of us are more deeper than the Chinese aggression in trade and commerce and geopolitics merely. Behind the curtains, other aggressors are also aging their hold deep down into the sovereign countries or the nations, which are cornered from minds of policymakers and the strategists. So it is a type of danger too. India and Japan will have an opportunity in this new decade to build an ecosystem where the Asian entities will play major role by slide down the adversaries. Apart from this, the I jolted down the three very key challenges as you focused in your question. The first one is the lack of clarity in the policy guidelines in labor and tax laws with their frameworks. The other one, I would say, the shy Japanese behavior in the defense, as it is still under the US security umbrella, which we can very well understood that. And the third one is the nuclear exchange, and it is a challenge as well as the opportunity in the energy sector. So this is the third point I will consider into both the part, a challenge also and as an opportunity too.
Lastly, we would wish for another 70 years of strong bilateralism between India and Japan. What do you think
Hmm.
can be expected in the coming years for these two countries?
Coming years arriving with geostrategic challenges to this bilateral relationship. See, like common sharing program on the defense avenues, the joint development of the strategic weaponry, strongholds on the choke points, the supply lines, and the access to the commercial supply chains also. So I see another 70 years from the prism of building a future for our sparkling centenary celebration. Uh, Assessing the shortcomings are must in diplomacy to rectify them and convert into the opportunities for the future generation. In coming 70 years, I personally see Asia as a multipolar continent with a strong regional player in every direction, whether it will be west, whether it will be east, whether it will be north, whether it will be a south. And India and Japan have the golden opportunity to link them in a goodwill, string to act as a facilitator for both of the countries in the future. And South Asia will going to be the prime region in the next 10 years where the India and Japan can cooperate immensely with the mutual benefits and the cooperate uh, gains over there. Uh, Soon, the Japanese PM Kishida's first visit to India is also being planned, and the Mammoth technology-based initiatives has to be signed among the corporations of both the countries. 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial meeting, foreign ministers' strategic dialogue, ambassadorial level exchanges, and the goodwill groups like devices are well in the place. Hence, this my belief is that this ever strengthening bilateral relationship will not see any ebb in coming decades.
Thank you, Shashank, for bringing in your viewpoints on the soapbox. It was definitely an insightful discussion for the viewers as well. Thank you so much, Shashank.
Thank you, Yashi, for inviting me over this platform. Thanks.
Thank you.